my brothers and sisters around the world, let us sing peace, love, and happiness. Let us sing peace, love, and happiness.
Sanibona ngicela ukubingelela nonke nginamkela onamkelayo nguCalvin. I would like to welcome Rahel Limor, our longtime friend, and Rahel, you are welcome to our WhatsApp group Enkundleni Yamavevane, which in our African language means in our crawl, the Amavevane crawl. We would like to welcome you. Rahel, please introduce yourself.
Hello. I'm Rahel, and I want to thank you so much for inviting me to the interview, to be interviewed on your fabulous WhatsApp group. I want to send all my love to all of the members of Amavevane who I miss dearly. And I'm so happy to be part of your lives. My name is Rahel, as I said. I was born actually Anne Rachel Silverman. I'm now Rahel Limor. And I was born and raised in America, raised mostly in the Boston area, and where there was a lot of music. My influence came from the hippie movement in the 60s. There was a lot of music then, live music. When I was a teenager, I could go to a place called Harvard Square, and there was a lot of music happening, live music, folk singers singing, and so I was exposed to wonderful original music at the time. But let me backtrack. My life has been mostly filled with music because my parents were both lovers of music. My father just listened to music all the time, mostly classical. And my mother just loved all kinds of music, and she exposed me to a lot of different styles. She also sent me to music school when I was, I think, 8 or 9, where I learned a little bit of piano and recorder, and I certainly learned a lot of rhythm. And when I was 14, my brother was learning the guitar, but he didn't like it, and I said, could I please learn the guitar? Because I had actually learned the recorder and the flute, and I wasn't too thrilled with the flute. And I really liked the guitar sound, I guess, and so my dad sent me to learn guitar for a year, and I became a guitarist. In Boston area, I actually grew up in a town called Lexington, but was, as I said, during the time when I was a teenager, I was just a little bit younger than Woodstock, when that happened in 1969, but my teenage years were from 1968 till 1972 when I graduated high school. And I after that went to college and was exposed to so much wonderful music, as I said, live music. In the bars, the rock and roll was happening. People were up and coming like Aerosmith and all of them. And then in addition to that, as I said, there were folk singers who were just singing live in restaurants all around Harvard Square. And if you wanted to hear music, you had to go and hear it. It was acoustic. It was wonderful. And so I used to go to Irish pub, and I learned how to play the spoons there from the Irish people who were playing. And I was much a listener and a learner at that time. I had learned guitar, and I was very interested in all kinds of music. I also studied Renaissance recorder playing, and I just wanted to learn music. Later, I went traveling around Canada, and everywhere I went, I met musicians, and each musician showed me new techniques on the guitar, and basically that's how I kept learning. I must add also that I am Jewish, and as a child, of course, I was sent to study Judaism, and the particular synagogue that I went to had a wonderful choir with an organ, and that really attracted me. Later, in my teenage years, my parents moved to a different synagogue that just had a cappella singing, and nobody could sing very well, and I really didn't like it very much. So, yeah. So as a Jew, so my Jewish education, of course, came from going to the synagogue, and later, when my parents divorced, my mother went to Israel, and she loved it there, and she ended up living in Israel. So in 1976, I felt the need to go visit my mother, and that's what brought me to Israel, basically. And there's a lot more to come from suddenly having my Jewish identity strengthened and being exposed to all sorts of music and musical styles, because in Israel there are people coming from all over the world, places you never even heard of, playing music from the cultures they came from. And it was just it mind-blowing. My head exploded, my musical senses exploded from suddenly being exposed to styles and sounds that I didn't know, because I was really in America brought up in folk music, folk sounds like Bob Dylan, Paul Simon, and then later, of course, the growing rock and roll and the metal, heavy metal we called it back then, of Led Zeppelin and the beautiful sounds of Santana. But when I went to Israel, there were suddenly Middle Eastern sounds and African sounds and Asian sounds even, and everything started to become fused together, and drum beats, and it was just something I had not known and been exposed to, and dissonant sounds and sounds that sounded like they shouldn't sound good at all, but somehow it worked. So really, I fell then into a what we called the Anglo music community, English speakers who had immigrated to Israel, Jewish immigrants for the most part, and sometimes non-Jewish ones, and of course the Arabic music. And I became a very central part of the Anglo folk music group of people, the community there. First of all, thank you for the compliment. Yes, I have a birthday coming up on next, when is it? In a week or two, July 27th. And I will be turning 71. And so I have a lot of years behind me, and all of those years I've been blessed with meeting wonderful musicians and just people who have shown me and taught me a lot. So in regards to professional music playing, I guess I could be called professional. I'm not a super celebrity, but thank you for that compliment. And as far as your next question about Israel, yes, I'm living in the original land of Israel, the one that the people, the Jews and the non-Jews who escaped from Egypt under Pharaoh, you'll read it in your Bible, crossed the Red Sea and traveled through Jericho and through all of that to come to Jerusalem, the Holy Land. The people of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, we are those people, and we've come back to the land that God has given us. And we're not the only ones living here, of course. This land is full of non-Jews of all kinds. But and I won't get into politics, but it is the land of the Bible. And I would love for anybody to come here and experience the real Israel, because it's fabulous. If you are a Bible reader, then you will walk in the actual footsteps of the people you read about, the people who lived here for centuries ago. And it's so thrilling to be here and be able to walk in their footsteps and see where they lived. The whole Bible will come alive to you when you're here. And people are also bringing back the ancient music. the music of the Bible, which we don't always know what it sounded like. But for example, the Psalms are well known to be music, musical renditions of prayer, of pleading, of emotions, of feelings that King David and a few others were feeling. Some accredited even to Moses. And this is music, but we don't really know how it went. We know a little bit about the kind of instruments they were. Whatever is written in the Bible, people have replicated and are trying to also play the ancient tunes and melodies according to what we know from the Bible, and to really bring back the biblical life. In fact, I just heard recently that somebody had found seeds from 3,000 years ago or so, 2,000, 3,000 years ago, and they planted them. And they've just now given fruit, and they're able to eat the fruit, the same fruit, which apparently tastes really outstanding, that people ate 2,000 or 3,000 years ago. Can you believe it? It's just incredible to be living in this land, in this country, as a Jew, and to be reclaiming the land that God gave us. So it's very thrilling. I really hope that everybody will get a chance and find a way to come here. And when you do, please let me know, because you will come to me and I will take you and show you this land. And now, in fact, I have in my collection of music, and I call myself not a songwriter but a song catcher. I try a poet, an American Indian poet, said that the songs are out there in the universe, and it's our obligation, our responsibility to capture them and bring them down here into the earth, into the to the human world, and share them with everybody. So I have some music from that I was gifted from beyond. It's called Tikkun, and you can get it. You can listen to it online. It's music that I put to some of the verses from King David's Psalms, and I think you will love it. It's called Tikkun. You can go on my music site at Bandcamp, and the host here, Calvin, will give you that information, and you can listen to my rendition of the ancient Psalms. I want to add that in addition to the Anglo folk music community that I was originally involved with, I also, at the same time, met some wonderful observant religious women who play for women only, and we rediscovered, we actually wrote music for women by women, and we expressed a special spirituality coming from a woman's perspective, and that band is called Tofa'ah. You can also find them online. And today I also play with another group of women who are very, very special, all expressing our love of the land, of country, of God, of just who we are as also women. So I think this is the influence of living in this country. We get influenced by the fusion of sounds from the people all over the world, the different styles and cultures that are contributing to this sound, and also the spirituality of the place, as well as the challenges of living here in such a wild country. We call it the wild Middle East. One other thing I want to say is that, when I met Future Moyo from Amavevane Acapella, and we began communicating in 2017, 2016. And in 2017, I was blessed to come to South Africa and meet you all there and play music for you there. And I remember thinking, Oh, how are our two different styles of music going to? How can we make a collaboration? And I think Future admitted to me later that he thought the same thing. But when you listen to what we did, the first time we got together to play my song, it was a psalm, and they Amavevane Acapella started singing. My heart was was so full because it was the kind of arrangement I had imagined for so many years, and nobody had done. And here it was happening in South Africa with a group from Zimbabwe. It was so beautiful, and we knew then how to connect and collaborate, that it would be a great success. And we learned so much from each other. Thank you. I just want to say that we had a wonderful time together here in Israel when we were able to bring some members of Amavevane Acapella here. And, the wonderful part, I think, for them was being able to walk in the footsteps of Jesus. Some of my friends were so cordial and kind to bring them and show them those places. So yes, it's wonderful. As far as collaborations, collaborations are not easy. They take a long time to make happen. Although in today's world we have a lot of more advanced technology to be able to make things happen. So I can say that I would definitely be interested in hearing from people. I don't promise anything, um, but definitely I would love to hear and see what there is out there and see what you're thinking about. Right now, I'm actually involved with the recording many of the songs that I have in the back burner. I have many songs from 1980s up until now that have just been sitting on the shelf. And here in Israel, I met a woman who is a immigrant from Colombia, South America, and we are collaborating right now. She's a wonderful producer. She works uh, wonderfully through the computer and everything. And I've got some new songs that I'm producing with her in collaboration. And the nice part about collaborations is that you get new energy, you get new ideas, and you get new music from it. And for example, the rhythm of the people in South Africa. African rhythms are not familiar to me, and rhythms of South America from Colombia are not familiar to me. So when we collaborate, and it goes the other way too, that the rhythms that I feel, that I grew up with, rock and roll, Western rhythms, folk music, are not familiar to you. And when I collaborated with Future and the boys, we thought, how are we going to get this music together? And we did it. And that just proves that the collaborations can happen. And when they happen, they give birth to such beautiful new sounds and beautiful new music. So, of course, I'd be open to working with other people. Um, but you have to know that it really requires a lot of focus, a lot of work. It requires technology now to be able to do it. And of course, money. I don't care personally about money. I never chased after money in my whole life, which is why I've had such a rich, thrilling life. Being able to meet so many wonderful people from around the world. I play music in the streets, which we call busking, which is where I've met so many wonderful people. I spent 4 years in South Korea during the COVID years, actually. And surprisingly, I wanted to get work as a musician, but I ended up being an actor and a model of all things. But it introduced me to a whole new world, and it was thrilling, thrilling. Everything that you do, you learn from. So collaborations are definitely the best for learning with and from other people to create. It's creative. It's about creativity. It's about the energy you put out there. It's about being open minded It's about being welcoming to something new and then building on that and then creating something new. So it's very exciting. Let me also add something to that. I want to say that, you know, many people want to hear the same music all the time, the music that they love, the music that they're familiar with. They want to sing along, and it makes them feel good. But honestly, at my age, I've heard the same music for 50 years, 60 years. This music has been out there. And I no longer find it that exciting. Although, if I play it for other people who love it and we sing it together, it's exciting. But I prefer to create new music. I find that much more exciting. And so collaborations are definitely the place for that, to create new music that's more exciting. The problem is you got to find the audience who will listen to it. You need to find the right people who will appreciate new sounds and new music to listen to your new creations, our new creations. Thank you, Calvin, for that question. That's a very powerful question. I can answer it probably very simply in saying that today's music is terrible. But honestly, when I was just speaking about creativity, I don't find the creativity too much in today's music. I find that um, the sounds, uh, the computerized music, although I am actually using a computer now, my producer is using a computer, but she's using real sounds. But I prefer working with real people, to tell you the truth, because we can interact and we can build something much more creative and interesting than you can by programming something. And even when you're pulling live sounds, real sounds from that have been recorded, it's still recorded music. You have to manipulate it, and you have to do a lot. And it's honestly, without the technological know-how to do that, then you are lost. And even today, this week, I was talking with some people about the new AI, artificial intelligence. And can we tell the difference? A friend of mine sent a song, two versions of a song. And he said, "Which do you like?" And I told him, and I told him, "Wow, who's the beautiful singer singing?" And he told me in the end, everything was AI. He just put in the criteria, and it came out with something. And yes, it was beautiful, it was wonderful. But honestly, I was shocked. And I never, my son is also an artist. He creates games and animation. And he agrees that, AI is created by humans. And if humans didn't create it, then there would be no AI. This technology would not exist if humans weren't creating it. So you have to go back to the source. You have to do what's from the source, which is from humans, the human interaction, the interacting with another being is how you create the best sounds, the best music, the best art, the best writing, by not by and by the way, I just saw another clip about somebody who was contesting AI, and basically AI is stealing from the artists of all kinds. He's a writer, and he said that the AI simply uploaded all of his writing, all of his books, and when people wanted to write in his style, they just had to say his style, and then they basically stole from him. So this is going to be really terrible for the artists. Already, online internet music has been terrible to the artist. What you buy online, and this is one of my pet peeves. I'm very upset about it. Places like, I won't say the name because it probably don't say the name on air, but there are places that are, um, you can purchase and listen to people's songs. But I will tell you from experience that the artist is not benefiting from however much you buy it or you listen to it. If it gets a million copies, maybe that artist got $10. So if you're going to go and listen to other artists' music, and every artist has a website, and I have a website where I keep my music, and you should go to that place to listen to and download any music from the artist so that the artist gets the money and not the company that's sponsoring the artist. Of course, the site will get a little bit of money, but most of the money will go to the artist. So please do not support these online these online radio stations, whatever. I mean, yes, here, of course, support this one, Amavevane. You must support this particular podcast, of course, and make donations to keep it going. You must, of course. But with the artists, please also go to their individual websites. And so this is what I think about today's technology. And again, I remember I just always am wishing that I could see some live music. And when I see the live music, I wish I could see them playing their own songs, their own creations, not doing cover songs, even if they're doing the cover songs in their own way. I always say, how do you think the people's songs got famous? They weren't, they were unknown. But because they were out there playing their own music, and some of these people played for 10 or 20 years before it got heard, and then suddenly became a hit. So I there's my long-winded answer. I do not appreciate the internet except for making connections, connecting with other people, and sharing your own creations with the world. I would definitely support that. I want to say about that when I was in South Korea, I went to South Korea to look for, to give a particular singer one of my songs because I thought he could sing it with passion and with an orchestra and all sorts of um, musical uh, additions that he had at his fingertips because he was a good, famous singer. But I never met him and I never did. But instead, I met a woman who said to me, why do you want him to sing your song? Don't you think that audiences would like to hear your version of your song and understand what you think about it, what you feel about it, and how you express it because you wrote it? It's your song. And from that moment on, she changed my life. And I thought, she's right. Why would I give my song to somebody else? I hope, because maybe I didn't think I was a very good singer at the time, or maybe still, maybe I didn't think that I could do it so well. But of course I could. Now I think I had to think about that very deeply. And as you said, we make mistakes, and the mistakes are part of the beauty of playing live and doing your own work, and and not using computer. When I have to work and record something, I have to play to a metronome, and I'm constantly having trouble doing that, even though I keep a good beat. But I sometimes when you're playing live, you want to change the beat because you feel it differently. So yes, and what was your question? Who do I prefer as an artist? I prefer everybody. I love music. So yeah, I mean I don't think I have a favorite artist at this point. In the Bible, I think, anyway, don't quote me, but we are encouraged to sing our own song. Each person is on this earth, in this world, with a purpose, and each person has an individual purpose to achieve and bring to the world. So please sing your own song. Yes, of course. I'm of course happy to interact with anybody. So please ask your questions, and thank you again for the birthday celebration with wishes.
Hi, Miss Rahel. My name is Primrose. And I want to say you are right. Technology has killed our music, and I love watching live music. Thank you for your wise words and everything you are doing, especially for the women. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Primrose. What a beautiful name. And you are probably a beautiful person there also. Yes, also for the women. It took a long time for women to be able to come to the forefront and express themselves. And as I said, with the women's groups here that I work with, it's very, very special and very unique to be able to express music uh, by women and for women because there's a different energy. It's a softer kind of energy. I don't know. It's a different kind of energy. When I play with men, there's very, very strong, hard, um, very, very, what's the word? Very strong, anyway, very strong energy. When I play with women, it feels very different. And so, yes, more women, and I imagine you must be a singer or a musician too. More women need to stand up and express themselves and their unique selves, what they have to offer in through their personal original voices. Thank you, and good luck to you, Primrose, and all the women there.
Hi, ma'am. I'm Nazuka and I'm only turning 18 next month. I'm not like most people in my age group. I love watching and listening to this type of music.
Thank you so much. I hope you will continue to love listening to this music and also music from your own culture and heritage and all kinds of music. It's very, very special to have an open mind and listen to music from around the world. It's just very special. We learn so much from from each other, from listening to each other's music. I want to also add about age. You know, I am turning 71, and it's so scary to say that number. I still feel like I'm 35. Um, but I want to say that I learned also from some women, one who was 77 when I met her, and one who was 82 and 85 when I met her. And they were still on the floor playing with children. And I know that many of you turn to your elders and the musicians and singers who have been in the business for a long, long time to learn from them. And we look up to them. Many people today don't, and it's a shame. And when I was younger, I used to go seeking out the older musicians because I wanted to learn from them and what they had to offer. So about age, it as just as music has no boundaries, also age has no boundaries. So even if you're young and you enjoy listening to all kinds of music, that's great. Whatever age you are, it's fine. It's great. Just do what you love from your heart. And I want to say that the people in Africa that I met for you from Zimbabwe are the people who have the largest, biggest heart that I have ever met. You are the people with heart, with so much love in your hearts. And I really thank you for sharing that love with me.
Thank you so much, Rahel. And I think it's soft when you play with women because women are generally soft and emotional.
I did mention briefly that I never ran after money. Money was the least important in my life. I ran after what I was interested in, what I was curious about, and that's what I followed. And you could call that following your heart if you want, but I always did what I was interested in. I looked for and pursued and learned from what I was interested in. So if you will love this kind of music, great. You should run after that. Just run after what you're curious about and love. Yes, we must play with other humans. We must interact with other humans. It's humans who are creating the technology. And I did say before, humans are creating the technology. We are maybe creating suicide amongst ourselves, but no, stick with other humans. We must interact with humans for the emotions and the feelings and the creativity. Yes, exactly. God bless you all, and thank you, Calvin and Amavevane Acapella and all the people over there in Africa. Thank you so much for your support.
Let's